All right, friends, let's settle in. Let's settle into this moment. Let's settle into our physical space. Let's settle into that breath, the in breath, the out breath, that beautiful space in between. And just get comfortable right where you are. And as you allow your eyes to gently close, to block out the distractions of the world for just a few minutes, just really give yourself permission to be here. Give yourself permission to stay in the present moment. Give yourself permission to adjust if you become uncomfortable or restless. There is nothing about our meditation practice that says it needs to be hard or that it needs to be structured. It needs to be compassionate and gentle. And so you've shown up, you've settled in, and then as each moment reveals something to you, respond in the way that is right for you. If in that moment there's chatter and noise in your head, then your response can be to focus a little more on the breath. If in the moment what's revealed is that the lower half of your body has become a little restless, your response could be to adjust that part of the body. And I believe that as we do that, we really learn the act of compassion toward ourselves. We notice, and we approach what we notice with love. And that is the focus of our time together today. Recently, I shared that I wanted to enter into this season of this winter solstice, this shortest day of light of the year. I wanted to enter this time with the mantra of, I am loving awareness. And at one point we started with this loving awareness of the body, scanning how the body feels. And it's with that understanding of loving awareness that we do adjust if we need to. But I would invite us in these few minutes that we have to take that loving awareness a bit deeper, because it almost seems irrational to think that your hips or your legs or your shoulders would get uncomfortable and you would just force yourself to stay there. You'd respond. That awareness would be met with love and compassion, and you would adjust. So I'll challenge us over these next few minutes to take that same way of thinking and apply it to other parts of us. And so let's just first really connect to our breath. Just finding a slow, deep, full breath in. And then just as slow and just as full breath out. And a slow, deep, full breath in. And a slow, deep, full breath out. And just continue finding that beautiful rhythm. And again, the space between the two, the in and the out. And use it as your anchor. Use it as your point of stability for these minutes that we have. And then I want to just repeat this mantra a few times. Sometimes these mantras, when we have them in English, we get stuck on the individual words or we find an association, but I would encourage you, feel the totality of this mind tool, this instrument, this mantra, and let it begin to reveal itself to you in whatever way you need it to today. I am loving awareness. 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 And so we're going to take our internal vision, this mind's eye, and we're going to really focus on who we are emotionally. As the winter solstice is just on the horizon, it means that the end of the year, the calendar year, is not far behind. And we have all of this lived experience behind us. We've had memories created. We've had joy and celebrations. We've had sorrow and trauma. We've had moments that felt neutral, just kind of in the center. We've had this full array of human experience across this calendar year. And with those experiences come emotions. And so what I'd like for us to do, in the same way that you would scan your body during your practice, I'd like for each of us, just in these next couple of minutes of quiet, just scan, almost like you're playing a tape, a video in your head. Just scan the emotions that you can remember feeling across this year. And as you scan and you notice them and maybe you name them, don't categorize them into the good or the bad emotions or the positive or the negative. Just notice what you felt. As an experience or a memory pops up, doesn't have to be chronological. Just as something is revealed, pause and just reflect. What was my emotional reaction or connection to that experience? And then grow still and let the next experience pop up. And then again, ask yourself, what was my emotional reaction or connection to that one? And so again, just across the next several breaths, each of us reflecting on these experiences that we've had in this last year. And there may still be others that pop up across these few minutes that we have. And if they do, just notice. Don't spend a lot of time or pay a lot of attention. Just notice and set them to the side. Because our meditation practice reminds us of the power of the present moment. But too often, when we seek this present moment, we try to smush down or avoid all the other stuff that brought us to this present moment. Our practice does not ask us to forget these things, but it also doesn't ask us to bring them all forward into the moment. It asks us to have a gentle awareness of who we are now, what things have contributed to who we are in this moment, and then approaching who we are with true loving awareness. It doesn't discount the traumas or the celebrations or the lived experiences. It brings them to this moment, helps us to see who we are, And then those things just begin to find their place in our story so that we can live in this moment. And so the reason I asked you to think about which emotions attached to those experiences, we have to validate who we are as emotional beings. Because if we don't, as we seek this present moment and we try to be still in our mind and our body, if we haven't understood the emotions, recognize them, they will bubble up. They will bubble up at times that we don't want or need them to. And these emotions that already had their time in our experiences and in our story, they'll begin to grab hold of this moment as well. And so our practice teaches us to understand the story that's happened already, to recognize how we felt emotionally when those things happened, and know that who we are today is a compilation of all of those things. They're not good, they're not bad, they are. They're not positive or they're not negative. They are. And we can begin to stop labeling things and attaching categories to them. We will truly begin to embrace the fullness of who we are. When I did my quick video of thinking about this year of 2023, it was the year, if I had to pick two words, of marriage and cancer. And many years ago, I would have taken those two experiences and the emotions that I attached to those two lived experiences in my life, and I would have assigned good and bad and negative and positive labels to them. But what this practice has taught me is they are part of my story. I had emotions throughout each of them. And today, I have a clearer understanding of who I am as an emotional being because of both of them. The extremes are not as extreme for me emotionally anymore. The difference between what I used to call good and bad and positive and negative are not as extreme as they used to be anymore either. Because I'm approaching it all with true loving awareness. And it's allowing me to live in the middle, which is where this present moment exists, right here. And so let's just sit for these next couple of minutes and think to ourselves, I am loving awareness. I realize the emotions that I feel. I realize the impact of my experiences, and not in spite of or not because of, but just a sentence by itself, I am loving awareness. I know it's such a different way of thinking. It's not how the world teaches. The world teaches a lot about just cause and effect and how one thing deserves another thing or not. But this practice teaches us that these experiences of life are impermanent, as are the emotions that come along with them. And if we can understand that, we can truly learn to live right in the middle. And the things will come, and the emotions will be felt, and the work of this practice will be maintained. And there truly is no sweeter gift. And so again, we'll just sit. You may still have experiences that pop up in your head. You may still recognize emotions. But let's come back to that breath each time you do. The breath occurs in the present moment. Let's choose to be there right alongside it. Just continue to breathe. I shared in the very beginning that if your body got restless, it would seem irrational not to fix it, not to adjust the hip or the knee or the posture so that you could get comfortable. I would challenge us as we get ready to close our time to think about these emotional connections to our experiences that we have in the same way. When these things conjure up these images in our head, as they invariably will, it becomes really easy for us to get uncomfortable, for us to go to a place where we don't want to go. So just like when your physical body starts to feel restless and you move to do something about it, do the same with the emotions. Through this loving awareness, as things continue to come up, notice what they are. Allow them to be in the place where they belong and come back to the present moment. We are not being asked to discount or forget our lived experiences. What we're being asked to do is to be so connected to the present moment that there's a vibrancy with each breath, that there's a clarity with each thought, and that there is lightness in our being each moment of the day. And it's through this loving awareness that we will discover that. So in the coming days, bring yourself back to this mantra, I am loving awareness. Yes, I feel things. Yes, I experience things, but I am loving awareness of who I am right now. And if something from before comes in and causes me discomfort, I want to adjust, let it go, and come back right here. I cannot think of a more beautiful way for us to enter into this shortest day of light on the 21st. And I also can't think of a better way to close out this calendar year, embracing the new year that will be upon us before we know it. I am loving awareness. Namaste.